Cara, hi, Jim Delapine here. I want to give you some more video feedback on this wonderful character you put together. You worked really hard on it. Everything's all organized in folders, which I don't usually do. I just, only because I like to select particular elements and go right to that layer. But it works for you, and that's fine. So let's look at, let's open up all the folders here and first look at, let's see, your background. So let's go to the background, which is, see, I can't I can't click on this with auto select to go directly to that particular layer. But well, actually, I can if the folder's open. So let's see. I want to first of all straighten out the horizon here. All right, if I control click on the layer, I see that you have excess image here. So I'm going to select these layers by, actually I'll select the whole thing. I could have just selected the background and hit Control T. And then I will, let's see, if I bring down a guideline, it tells me what's exactly straight. And then I could just rotate this slightly. That's all. That little bit makes a difference. Okay, I'll hit Enter and then deselect. All right, so now let me hit Control 0 to zoom in. Oops, it looks like let's see here. So that means part of this was in the background here. You know what I'll do? I'll just select everything. I'll hit Control T again and scale it up a little bit. That's all. So clicking on the outside, clicking and dragging outward and hitting Shift and Alt at the same time scales it up in the center, and there we go. Okay, so hitting Enter, and then also don't forget that if you place a new layer on top and simply fill it with white. Why am I having a hard time with this? There we go. All right, and now fill it with white. That will save your upload time. That reduces the file size because it's seeing the white and not all the images. So just make note of that. Okay. So let's look at the text here. So with the text, I'm going to select all of the text here. I have a thought here, and so let's see how it works out. So hit Control T. Well, I don't know what. Oh, that's because the image is there. Okay, so let's just select the text and now hit Control T since that whole texture is covering the background. And let me scale this out. So for the lower right, I'm going to just hold on the Shift key as I'm dragging to constrain it. I'm going to make this really low. I have a thought here, and I think this is could work out nicely. Okay, so I'm scaling up to be that large. So the text still fits in here, and I'm looking at the D here with this asparagus. So I'll hit Enter to apply the transformation, zoom in, and then I'm going to apply a layer mask to the text layer. And then I'm going to scroll down, look for asparagus, and Control or Command click on the thumbnail for the layer mask, so I have a selection. And then I'm going to go back up to my layer mask for the text layer. Select my paintbrush, make sure it's at 100% hardness, and black's my foreground color. And then I'm going to mask out this portion of the asparagus. If I hit Control H to hide the selection, I can see the result. Now I also see that you have a slight transparency on the text layer for 84%. Because that kind of ruins this illusion here, so let's bring this up to 100%. All right. Now, if you wanted to, get a different effect, simply go to, perhaps you can go to blending modes. So I'll just hit the first blending mode, and then I'll hit the down arrow key to scroll through to see if perhaps I find something that interests me. But at least I'm at 100% hardness, I'm sorry, opacity, and I cannot see through that D. So it helps with that illusion. All right, so there's that. And again, you can continue to scroll. You might see something else, but I like how the text is now larger fits that negative space better, and this is a fun thing to do. All right, so now let's pull this all together and now add shadows. All right, so um, based on reality, if this toothpick is going through the strawberry, there would be a shadow coming down here. Okay, you may not have to stick to the light source exactly, but it's you have to take some creative license here. So if we go down to the strawberry and create a new layer above that, okay, and then make a selection by control clicking on the toothpick thumbnail for the layer mask. All right, and then hit, let me see here. First, I want to look at this. Let's see, I have gray. I want gray as my foreground color. All right, now if I paint here, yep. Okay, so what I want to do is inverse the selection. So Shift F7 inverses the selection. So now I'm going to be painting on this new layer I created down here, okay? So what I want to do is go and make a 0% hardness brush, hit my left or right bracket key to reduce the brush size, and then create what looks like a shadow. Okay, so this is going to take a little bit of finagling here, so I'm going to click and drag down, just like something like that. Okay, and then I'm going to put that new layer into multiply mode. All right, and this gives me more control now. Okay, so what I can now do is this. I'm going to create a layer mask for the shadow layer. All right, this gives me more control. Okay, 1 second. Let me undo that. Let me first deselect and then create the layer mask, because it was creating a layer mask based on that selection. All right. Now with my layer mask selected, I want to customize. I want to make the shadow more realistic. So that means 0%. I want to 0% hardness brush. Okay. And I'm going to kind of dissipate this shadow. The further away from an object the shadow gets, the more the shadow kind of dissipates and falls away. So don't forget also you have control over the opacity of that to lessen the intensity of the shadow. So let's do something like that, maybe 65%. I'll go into my paintbrush, make sure it's black. Okay, and now with the large brush, this is where the back and forth works with the hardness of the brush, the opacity of the brush, or the intensity of the paintbrush that you are masking out, and that allows you to gradually eat away at these pixels. All right, so I'll make it maybe 65%. And actually what I had was working good, but zooming in, I can slowly eat away and kind of paint out these pixels. Also note that where a shadow hits the object, it's a hard edge, and then the further away it gets, the more it dissipates, or softens, I should say. I use the word dissipate a lot. Let me decrease my brush size. So now I will click right here and then shift click out here. You know, it doesn't really, you can't really see it that much. All right, if I bring the opacity up, it would be kind of like click and shift click to create a straight line. So now it's a hard edge here, and then the further away it gets, the more it softens. Okay. So if I also used a lighter gray, I'd get a lighter end result. But I like to control with the opacity. All right, so you can kind of customize that. So it takes an artistic eye. It may be a little harsh. So let's see, click, shift click. Okay, something like that. All right, so I would do that. I mean, you're looking at the shadow under the leaf on the strawberry, so you're kind of mimicking that a little bit, you know, so maybe a little softer. All right, so anywhere where something is coming out of something else that you have the opportunity to create a shadow will help meld these all together. For example, on the apple, there should be a shadow thrown on there from the wire and from these sprouts here thrown onto the apple. That's going to take some finesse, okay? Where the well, this doesn't necessarily have to come out of this, but the wire, there certainly should be a wire on the apple that will ground it. All right, the shadow looks good, and I'm going to stop there. Okay, and I hope that helped. Okay, take care. Also, make sure Yep, I see you have used save selections, and you certainly have plenty of adjustment layers that are clipping masks, so great job on that. All right, take care. Bye.